Hello everyone, this is Jill here to give the post-game commentary on the Purdue versus Auburn game down at Indianapolis. Final score being Purdue 88, Auburn 60. I was fortunate enough to be there since I am home for the holidays, so pretty exciting, and you'll see the setting looks a little bit different for the next 2 or 3 games, so just bear with me. So there were a couple things I was thinking about before the game even started, and one being this is going to be the first big test, first top 25 matchup that we've had since the Iowa State loss. So how do we respond to that? How do we respond to higher level of competition than maybe the past 2 games have been? And how do we really make sure that we show that we are worthy of our ranking and are a very efficient team on offense and proving ourselves on the defensive end. The other thing I was thinking about is just making sure we keep this competitive throughout the entire game, and that since this is a home-like crowd, something we didn't have last year, let's take advantage of it and really keep it exciting for those that traveled out. Overall, I would say that almost all of that happened. It was very exciting personally to be there and to see the team do very well. And, as far as my team thoughts, I thought we were really aggressive and tough. We had good composure on the court. Auburn's a very physical team, very fast and athletic. So how do we match up against them and, take advantage of the game that they present to us? And I think we did a pretty good job of managing expectations on that front. The other thing too was even throughout the entire game, we didn't let up. So I know we did kind of take the starters out after a certain point in the second half, but we tried to make sure that we were still aggressive from start to finish and that we were very competitive from that end, which I really liked. I kind of thought there were some instances where we needed some more aggressiveness in certain games, so giving our starters a chance to play a ranked opponent for that long was good. I also thought our defense was good. Auburn obviously has an interesting style of play where they do a lot of really contested shots, a bit of one-on-one isolation type of basketball. And there were, of course, times when people lost coverage. There was an open man that ended up taking a shot. But overall, I thought we had pretty tough D, kept in front of the players, and every shot that they made, it was while a Purdue guy was in front of them, and it wasn't a gimme shot. The other thing, too, I would say is some of their best players, Tahad Pettiford in particular, had a very quiet game, and I think that's great when we can take away some of their key players and have them score a lot less than what they're expected to score in these types of games. So I think CJ Cox might have been the one that was guarding him throughout, so the fact that he only had 5 points this entire game. I know he left early, but that was really cool to see. The other thing too is that we really limited the scoring to essentially 2 players. I think only 2 had 10 points or more, which when that happens, I think that shows we're really competitive on the defensive end. So, you can't stop everyone from scoring, but the fact that we limited their players to really 2 getting hot, that was good to see. Overall, Purdue shot 56% from field and 46% from 3. I thought that was really great stats to see from shooting end. We also had 100% from free throws, so that was great to see. I think Fletcher and Braden were the only ones that got on the free throw line, so, kind of expect that, but you never know. And then the other thing would be we out-rebounded Auburn 33-21, and 5 players had 10 points or more. A lot of contributions coming from our role players, from bench players, so the fact that we can see that, especially in a ranked game like this, very exciting to see. We'd love to see that continue throughout the season. And then points in the paint. Purdue had 40, Auburn had 20. I think it just goes to show you got to feed the post. That's where a lot of our game starts. And then once the defense collapses, pushed out, take a 3-pointer shot, and then we kind of go from there. So that was also great to see, and love the energy that the players brought. For some individual player stats and discussions, I think you can't really start this conversation without mentioning Braden Smith's 14 assists for the game. It's a season high of 14, and that's more than what Auburn collectively did as a team. So obviously impressive and something that shouldn't go overlooked. I think the past 3 games he's had 10 or more assists, and the fact that that's even like a normal stat at this point is pretty unbelievable. I think a lot of times you see Braden Smith get 10 assists or more and you think, oh, that's kind of expected. And while it is for him, since he's such a heavy passer in his game and really wants to distribute the ball to his teammates, it's also something that I think we should always discuss, because that's what makes this Purdue team so exciting to watch, is that the ball gets passed around a lot and everyone gets an opportunity to score. The other thing, TKR, he had 18 points and I think 6 rebounds. So that was pretty exciting to see. You know, he is essentially unstoppable when he's got a little bit of isolation, has an opportunity to kind of dribble and, you know, make some moves in the paint to find his shot. And he's always able to get to, you know, turn on his left shoulder to get that right hook, which is always like flawless. And the fact that he's able to score when he's being double teamed, triple teamed is also impressive. I mean, Auburn had no answers for him, and I think there was some instances where, you know, it's very aggressive down in the paint, where a lot of pushing and shoving to either grab rebounds or to score. And there was some certain instances in the first half where he looked like he was getting frustrated, but I think in the second half he was really able to like channel that energy and do something really efficient on the offensive end, like score. And so that was really great to see, and just have him have a great game. I think it was mentioned a lot in the post-game conferences that this was a game he's been looking forward to all season and wanted to enact some sort of revenge. So the fact that he was able to do that in his own way was awesome. So Fletcher Loyer and Oscar Clough had quieter scoring games, but I don't think you should discount their ability to contribute to the team's success in other ways. For example, Fletcher Loyer, he was 0 for 7 from 3, but he was able to get to the free throw line and really get points from that end. I also thought his defense wasn't, it was pretty good. He was trying to be very aggressive and grab rebounds and just find opportunities elsewhere, like other ways to score outside of just shooting threes. And, you know, hoping that his shooting comes back to him at some point soon. But what was nice was he didn't have a great shooting game, but others did, so they were able to kind of pick up where he left off. And then Oscar Clough, I think he had 6 points and 7 rebounds, and it was really great to see him, again, just be a presence on the court, especially when it comes to rebounding, and he's always trying to find ways to grab the ball, to pass it to a teammate, things like that. And it's just something that is always great to see, because that was a presence we didn't necessarily have last year. And I think just him being on the court while he didn't get to score as much was great, because they couldn't leave him alone in order to guard TKR, because he's also an offensive threat. I don't think you can also talk about this game without mentioning our 3 key players that scored 8 from 11 from 3, which was CJ Cox, Jakari Harris, and Jack Benner. Jack Benner was 100% from the 3-point arc. Harris, I think he was 3 for 4, 3 for 5, and then CJ Cox was somewhere around there as well. So really exciting to see them get really hot from 3, and something that I would love to see continue throughout the season. What's great is this was a ranked opponent. It was a friendly environment for Purdue, but also not necessarily a home game. And so the fact that we were able to have some role players, some bench players really step up and hit some big shots down the line was great, and it kept Auburn at a distance almost throughout the whole game. I think it just goes to show that when opponents try to take away our weapons Braden, Fletcher, our starting 5, really, it just goes to show that we have other people waiting in the wings to catch and shoot, and they are an offensive liability for an opponent. So we have a lot of opportunities to score. We have a lot of people that can contribute, and so that's just been really great to see that we had 5 players in this game score 10 points or more, and 2 of them were bench players. The last person I will mention would be Omer Meyer. Love to see him contribute some more. I don't think he had as many valuable minutes in this particular game that he has in the past, but I know that he's, still kind of working on his game, trying to find the best role for him in this particular team. So just curious to see how he continues to develop. And I think conference season or conference play will really tell us what his role is going to be for this team. One thing I did really like was kind of at the end of the game, we stole the ball and he passed it to Jack Benner for him to do like a quick dunk. And that was typically you'd see him go and do the layup or dunk it himself. So the fact that he was able to pass it to his teammate instead just really spoke like he was pretty selfless for that, and that he was just like a team player looking to contribute in ways other than shooting, which, you know, he has been doing. And I think he's still learning a ton from the team and what he can do to make an impact. And, you know, we're really just kind of waiting to see what his opportunity is going to look like. I don't think we've seen his full potential yet. And I think, you know, if you look at some highlight reels from his seasons with the Israel team and things like that, you know what he's capable of. So just waiting for that to kind of blossom for him. And I think it's going to come at the right time. So, you know, I think now is just a good time for him to learn, but great for him to pass the ball out, get a good assist there. And then he got a couple layups at the end to just kind of boost confidence on scoring and from that front. That's pretty much it for this game. You know, we had a great game, great comeback game from, you know, last year, beaten by 28 points. And it's just great to see, like, every single game, it's a learning opportunity, and that they're looking for challenges throughout the season to see what we're made of and what, you know, our players can do in pressure situations like, you know, a top 25 matchup like Auburn. But yeah, that's pretty much it. The next game we do have is going to be at Mackey Arena versus Kent State, I believe. That is December 29th at 7 p.m. Eastern. So be sure to pack Mackey for that if you're going to be in town. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.